The Prophet of Thought.
Open your mind.
Well, this is basically part two
Prophet of
of
Thought.
a Prophet of Thought series. I think I'm going to start calling these things Prophet of Thought series conversations. That's what I think I'm going to do. Because from time to time, I get on my phone and I record these little things. I mean, I have these thoughts that come in my mind, and usually when I have these thoughts, I'm away from my computer. I'm away from, my audio equipment and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna just start doing these things on my phone when I'm away from my setup, which I am, quite a bit. So this basically here is part two of a recording that I did last night, as a matter of fact. It's
Prophet of Thought.
a continuation of a conversation about some nonsense. And I was speaking about black people doing the same things over and over and over again. And as I stand out in my yard today, I start to thinking about, guys, because I know, you often hear, me talk about black women and the things they do and the things I see on the internet and just everything else, the black women that I was raised with, by, the ones I know, the ones I've dated, the one that I have kids by. And it got me to thinking about the brothers that I grew up with. And because, let me be clear, I have kids of my own, okay? I have kids with a woman, only one, only one. And, I thought when we had kids, because I actually was going to marry this woman and everything else, I mean, that was in my mind because, see, unlike most black people, I didn't come from a broken family. I didn't come from a broken family. I mean, my parents, they were married for 52 years. My father died in my mother's arms. And not a lot of people can say that, especially not a lot of black people. Okay? About 28% of them can say that. The other 72% cannot. My parents were married for about 52 years. So I grew up with my father, okay, teaching me how to hunt, how to fish, how to be a man, how to tie a shoe, how to ride a bike, how to drive a car. I learned all that stuff from my father, how to work for mine, how to have my own, how to be a man, and how to stand up as a man, okay? Something I wouldn't have been able to learn from my mother. If I had been raised by my mother, I probably would be just like a lot of these other black men that are coming up. I'd be a male version of a black woman, basically. But I am not, thank God. But anyway, the woman that I had my first kid by, I actually was going to marry her. Believe it or not, I was going to marry her. Her and I, we had a few kids. I mean, I have 3 kids with her. And, we were going to get married. We were together for almost 11 years and all that. We were going to get married in the whole 9. Because I thought that was the thing to do. I was with her for all those years, and I said, look, I need to go ahead and just marry this woman, and she has my kids, so I'm going to marry her. But of course that didn't happen, because she turned out to be just like the women that I often talk about. Okay? Irresponsible. Okay? Selfish. Okay? Thinks about herself. And that's pretty much it. Just thinks about herself. Thinks about herself more than the kids and everything else. Now, mind you, I might have had I had a lot to do with it too, okay? Because it takes 2 people to make a relationship, just like it usually takes 2 people to destroy one. So I had a lot to do with it too, and I'm willing to admit that. But what I want to talk about is once I had these kids by her, and her and I split up, okay? It
mind.
wasn't my first goal wasn't to go out and have kids with another woman. I mean, because that's not what I wanted to do. Because see, I had already experienced that. I had already been with a woman and had kids by her, and it didn't work out well. So the last thing I wanted to do was to go and do it all over again. Now, I think about the brothers that I
The
grew up with,
prophet of
because I know
darkness.
brothers who got 5, 10, and 15. I know a guy who's got like 16, 17 kids by like 16, 17 different women. I
The
actually know
prophet of
people
darkness.
like that,
Open your mind.
and
Prophet of
they are
darkness.
just as bad as these damn women. Because you go and you have one baby with one woman, and it don't work out. So what do? You turn around and you go and have another one with another woman, and it don't work out. And then you do it again and again and again and again
The
and again.
prophet of darkness.
These are the things that we often talk about. People keep doing the same thing over and over and over. You know why they keep doing the same thing over and over and over? Because these people just,
The
for the
prophet
life of
of
them,
darkness.
cannot change their behavior. And you know why they can't change their behavior? Because they can't change their thinking. That's why they can't change their behavior. They think the same. They think, okay, I'll go over here,
Open your mind.
I have sex with this woman, have a baby with her, it don't work out. So I go over here,
The
I have
prophet of
sex with
darkness.
this woman, have a baby with her, and it don't work out. So they keep repeating that same thing over and over and over and over and over, but
The
expecting
prophet
it
of darkness.
to be different when past evidence totally contradicts that. And that's what I don't understand about black people. We will continue to do the same things over and over and over again when we have past experience
Of darkness.
of how bad that decision was. But somehow, some way, I guess we seem to think that it's going to be different the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, the 10th time that we make this decision. Because they're decisions. I mean, people want to hide, like I said before, people want to hide behind that, oh, everybody makes mistakes, it's a mistake. No, 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 no. It's a mistake when you do it once, when you do it twice. Once it gets to be 3, 4, 5, 10 times, we can't say it's a mistake anymore because you already know the outcome of when you did it the first 5 times. So time number 6, don't be trying to tell me it's a mistake. Okay, what it is a bad damn decision is what it is. Okay, it's a bad decision. It's not a damn mistake at time number 6. I'm sorry.
Of darkness.
So we continue to make these bad decisions over and over and over and over and over as if it's going to be different. And it's the same thing with the women. The women, boy, a woman, she will have a baby, okay, by some dude, and it don't work out, okay? Then she'll have another one with another dude, and it don't work out. Then she'll have another one with another dude, and that doesn't work out. So once you get to 2 and 3, and you see
Of darkness.
where this is going, why would you do it for a 4th time, for a 5th time, for a 6th time? At what point do we look at these situations and say, you know what? Maybe we need to change up how we operate, because the way we've been operating lately hasn't been working out. But we don't do it. We don't do it. We will continue to do the same old thing, and we will continue to expect it to be different, even though we know ahead of time that it's not going to be. What does that say about a people? What does that say about a people who just keep making the same old bad decisions over and over and over again? What does that say? We can see it happen to someone else. We can watch them go through it. We can watch the ups and downs of their situation, and you know what we'll do? Instead of looking at that situation and say, you know what? I shouldn't make those mistakes. I shouldn't make those bad decisions. Let me do my thing differently. Nope, we won't do it. We'll turn around and do the exact same thing because something in our minds tells us that we can handle the situation better. Even though we know that the situation is bad, we can handle the situation better. And it's the stupidest of things. And decision making like that is what keeps us in the position that we're in. Now, people will tell you that it's people like me, okay, who makes these observations. We're part of the problem. We're not part of the solution. We're part of the problem. Because see, we point this stuff out. Okay? Because see, black people, they need to hear feel good stuff. And that's another thing with black people. I mean, we don't want to do better. Okay? We don't want to do better. We don't want to be better. See, our thing is feeling better. We're about feeling better as opposed to doing better. And that has been the downfall of us. It has been. It's been the downfall of us because we are so concentrated on what makes us feel better that we don't even have time to focus on what's going to make us do better, what's going to make us be better. We don't have time to focus on that kind of stuff. We just don't have time.
Open your mind.
We don't. I mean, you got, and the crazy thing is, we're passing this on to, our 9 babies that we have. Okay? And the crazy thing is that you would take a kid and the parent will make a kid, they've so wrapped up in everything except doing better that kids, they think they freaking score on PlayStation is more important than they score on a math test. They think it's more important to have a big screen TV in their house than some books. They think it's more important to be getting straight A's. They think it's more important to be getting all these sneakers and clothes and everything else than it is getting straight A's in school. You know why? Because that's what they've been taught. That's what they've been taught. And they've been taught this stuff by our black asses. Now, mind you, we are quick to blame video games and TV and violent movies and violent videos and internet and Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, 50 Cent and Jeezy and everybody else, Nicki Minaj. We are quick to blame them for the way our kids are. But who buys the TVs for them? They don't buy them. They don't have any money. Who buys the video games? Who buys the computers, the iPods, the iPhones? Who buys it for them? Us. We do it. Why? Because, see, we are so wrapped up in our own messed up selves that we think by giving them and providing them all of this stuff, that's how we be a good parent. We're being a good parent if we go out and we buy them a 50-inch TV. We're being a good parent if we go out and we buy them an Xbox. We're being a good parent if we buy them a new smartphone and sneakers and cars. And see, we've got it all mixed up. You know why? Because, see, we're being good parents by making sure their asses know how to read and write. We're being good parents, making sure that their asses know how to count. We're being good parents by teaching them to be responsible and work for what they want and not expect people to give them things. That's how we be a good parent, okay? But we don't do it. We don't do it. So what ends up happening? You get a generation of people growing up feeling entitled, feeling like the world owes them something. People that don't want to do anything for themselves. People who don't have any concept of what life is about. You know why? Because the people who raised them didn't know that. Because, see, instead of trying to give this kid what you didn't have, what you need to be doing is working on yourself. You know how you be a better parent? You're not a better parent by giving children things you didn't have as a child. You're a better parent by working on those issues that you have inside of you because you didn't have those things. That's what makes you a better parent. You're not going to be a better parent because, oh, I didn't have things when I was a kid, so I'm going to go out and buy my kid a $500 video game system. I'm going to go out and buy my kid a $700 phone. I'm going to go out and buy my kid a car. I'm going to go out and buy my kid this, that, and the other thing. That doesn't make you a better parent. All that does is make you a person who has taught this kid that they are defined by what they own as opposed to what they know and who they are. That's what you're teaching them. So if you want to be a better parent, don't think you got to shower them with all these expensive things and all this nonsense, because all that stuff is doing is contributing to the broken person they're going to grow up to be. What you need to do is work on yourself. Work on those issues that you have within yourself because you didn't have this, that, and the other thing, as opposed to trying to live vicariously through your kids. And in the process of living vicariously through your kids, you end up not teaching them a thing. You don't teach them anything by living vicariously through them. You're definitely not teaching them no responsibility. You're not teaching them that. And you can't blame anyone else for who they become. You want to blame TV, a TV that you bought. You want to blame a video game that you bought. You want to blame the internet that you pay for. You want to blame it. You want to blame Jay-Z and 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne. You want to blame all of them. But what don't you see? Because those people that I just spoke of, they have kids. People like Lil Wayne and Jay-Z and 50 Cent and all these guys. They have kids. And guess what? Guess what their kids ain't out there doing? Their kids ain't out there robbing and stealing and killing and shooting people and robbing old ladies. Number one, because they have a father in their life. They got a father in their life that supports them, provides for them, right? And number two, if they were such bad influences on your kids, don't you think that their kids would be out there robbing and stealing and selling dope and knocking old ladies in the head too? They'd be doing it too, right? You can't blame these people because your kid is in jail. You can't blame these people because your daughter is a freaking street walking whore. You can't blame these people because your kid don't want to do shit. Because they came from you. It ain't Lil Wayne's fault, Jay-Z's fault, or 50 Cent's fault that your kid ain't turned out to be shit. It's because of you. They came from you. I know, I got a son, he stays in some nonsense, okay? I don't blame Jay-Z, I don't blame TV, I don't blame anything, because guess what? He came from me. He came from me. Jay-Z didn't raise him, Lil Wayne didn't raise him, Nicki Minaj didn't raise him, I raised him. So it must have been something I did wrong, something his mama did wrong. Because guess what? I got a 16-year-old daughter too. And guess what she does? She does crazy stuff too. But you know who I don't blame? I don't blame Nicki Minaj. I don't blame Sony for making a PlayStation. I don't blame Microsoft for making an Xbox. I don't blame Samsung for making a TV. And see, this is what we gotta get out of. We got to get out of that sense of let's blame everything else except ourselves. And that's my problem with a lot of black people. We are so afraid to look at ourselves. You know why we're afraid to look at ourselves? Because we just can't stand the fact to admit that we have made some horrible damn decisions in our lives. We made some horrible damn decisions concerning our kids' lives. We just have. A lot of us have. And some of those bad decisions was having the kid at all. And we definitely will not admit that. But let me tell you something. If I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't have kids by any freaking woman until I was married to her. If I had to do it all over again. And see, I can say that. I can say that. But you go out here and you ask one of these other brothers. Ask one of these other brothers. Yo, man, if you had to do it all over again, man, would you have? And me, I've got 3 by the same woman. I don't have, 10 and 15 and 10 and 15 different states. I don't even have that. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do it completely different. I just would. I mean, for what I know now, I would do it completely different. But you go to these brothers who got 10, 15, 20 babies and ask them, yo, man, you got 15 kids, man. What would you do different? Oh, man, I wouldn't do no. Man, my kids are blessings. I'm not asking you whether or not your kids are blessings. And there we go again with the diversion. Because no one wants to answer a direct question because, see, if they answer that direct question, they have to examine themselves. And black people don't want to examine themselves. Oh, man, if I had, man, I would do the same thing. My kids is blessings, man. So you mean to tell me if somebody could dial back, okay, just hypothetically, if somebody could clean your slate and dial you back 10 years before you had these 15 babies, you trying to tell me that you would still go ahead and have these 15 babies? That's what you trying to say?
In your mind.
And the reason why black people won't answer these questions, they won't answer these questions because, see, they know if they say, you know what, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it this way. Because, see, if they say that, they would have to admit that the decisions they made in the past were bad. They would have to admit that. And they won't. And definitely if you go to a woman, if you was to ask her, well, you got 9 babies by 9 different dudes. If someone could dial it back for you, if someone could dial it back for you 10, 15 years before you had these 9 babies, would you do it all over again? And the first thing she would say, oh, my kids are blessings. I didn't ask you, were your kids blessings? I'm asking you, would you do it again? And when you ask them that, they'll still say, well, my kids are blessings. I'm not going to. And that's it. Because they will not say, I would do it differently. They will not say it. You know why? Because, see, if they say it, they would have to admit that these decisions that they made in the past may not have been the best decisions for their life. Because black people hate to admit that the decisions that they've made played a part in their destiny. They will never admit that, even though a lot of the decisions that we make as a people are horrible. They're horrible. They are horrible. All you got to do is turn on any news program, look on any news station on the internet, and you see multiple horrible decisions that people make every single day. But I'll be damned if black people will ante up, boy, to the fact that we make some terrible decisions. No. Well, see, we have justification for it, see. It might have been a bad decision, but see, at the time, see, I was young. I was in love. I was a fool. I thought it was going to be this one. So we have all that justification. We just can't come out and say, well, it was a bad decision, blah, blah, blah. No. Just like the kid with 10, 15 babies. Because let me tell you something. I've asked brothers that I know, like, yo, man, you got like 10, 15 kids, man. First of all, you got 10, 15 kids in 10, 15 different counties. So you know what that means? Not taking care of all of them, if any. Unless you making $5 and $10 million a year where you can just spread it all out in 15 different counties. So some of those kids, you're not taking care of. So you trying to tell me you wouldn't do it differently if you had the chance? And you know what comes out of their mouth? Oh, man, my kids, I love all my kids, man. I take care of all my kids. Man, you got brothers in the NBA who making $5 and $10 million a year, okay, that got 10 and 12 babies and still being sued for child support. So how your ass taking care of them? How you taking care of all 15 of your kids and your ass ain't even got a job? I don't give a fuck how much dope you sell. So just get off of that. You know, that's total nonsense. I don't care how much dope you sell. You ain't taking care of no 15 babies that's in 15 different damn counties. Knock it off. That's another thing with black people. We refuse to tell the truth, especially when the truth makes us look bad. If it makes us look bad, boy, we will dance and do the electric boogaloo, boy, around the truth, boy, as much as we can. If it's something that makes us look bad, God forbid, we gotta tell the truth when it makes us look like idiots. Even though we know we were being idiots at the time. You know? Shoot. And with the women, forget about it. They're like even worse. They're even worse. Because, boy, a woman can have 10, 12 damn babies, and she study trying to tell you how each baby is a blessing. But every time her ass had a baby, she got poorer and poorer. Every time she had a baby, she sunk deeper into poverty. But she dare not tell you, oh, well, you know, maybe I should have waited till I got married. Maybe I should have only had 2 babies instead of 10. She will never say that. Never. What she'll do is try to tell you how awful the men were that she had. She will tell you how all her kids is a blessing, how she was in love, how she thought they was going to stay, how she thought this and how she was young. And then she'll tell you how she takes care of all of them. Okay? That's the first thing come out of their mouth. Damn, girl, you got 9, 10 babies. What the first thing come out? Oh, I take care of all my kids. Now, mind you, she ain't got no job now. This is an unemployed person. And she's explaining to you how she takes care of 10 kids. Of course you're taking care of 10 kids. You got 10 babies. Guess what? You can get on welfare. You can get a house. You can get food stamps. You can get money. You can get all that. Of course you're taking care of them. And that's another thing. The government, they encourage it. The government encourages this. Because the more babies a woman got, the more help she can get. They'll give her a house. They'll give her money. They will let her go to school. The worse off she is, the more help she can get. Now, mind you, I know there's people out there, I know there's single women out there that need help. I understand that completely. But when you talk about a government that they encourage this behavior. The government encourages it. Because the more kids she have, the bigger house she can get, the more food she can get, the more money she can get. She can go back to school. She can do all this kind of stuff. But guess what? That's just a woman. Okay? That's a woman. Now, a man, if a man can't take care of his kids, guess what happens to him? If a man can't pay that child support to this woman who got 9 babies by 9 different dudes, guess what happens to him? His license gets suspended, his check gets garnished, and if he get too far behind, depending on what jurisdiction he's in, his ass will be in jail. Because he can't afford to send her money. He'll go to jail. And that's the stupidest thing in the world. That's the stupidest thing in the world, because the more deprived a woman is and how less likely she is to be able to take care of them kids, the more the government will do for her. You think a man, if he walked into any government agency, whether it be welfare or whatever the case may be, and say, look, I got 5 kids by 5 different women, okay? And I can't take care of them. I don't have no money. I can't afford to do it. You know what they'll tell him? Well, you need to go out and get 2 and 3 jobs. You need to go out and do this and do that. They're not going to give him no food stamps. They're not going to give him no house. They're not going to give him no money. And guess what else they're not going to give him? They're not going to give him an opportunity to go to school. They're not going to give him an opportunity to do anything. But a woman can walk into that same office with 5 kids by 5 different people and say, look, I can't take care of these damn kids. And you know what they'll do? They'll give her food. They'll give her money. They'll even give her a house. Yeah, they'll give her a house. They'll give her housing, they'll give her food, they'll give her money. Shoot, they'll give her child care. Okay, they'll pay for the child care. They'll pay for her to go to school. They'll do all of that. Yeah, she'll get all of that. But a man can walk in there and he got 5 babies by 5 different people, and he will get nothing. Because see, they have a program for him too. They have a program for a man who's not able to take care of his kids and pay for his kids. And that program, because see, they'll give him housing and food too. And see, that program is called jail. Incarceration is what they will give him if he can't pay for his kids. See, that's the difference. And how the hell is that balanced? It's actually pretty stupid. Because if a person ain't paying child support, now what the hell make you think he gonna be able to pay child support while he's sitting in jail for 6 months or a year? What the hell make you think he gonna be able to pay child support now? You know, but that's how stupid this system is and how stupid it operates. Because if a man ain't able to take care of his kids, he's a deadbeat. But if a woman ain't able to take care of hers, she's a victim. She's a victim. She's a victim. So guess what? We're going to give her a house. We're going to give her money. We're going to give her food. We're going to give her all that. Because, see, she's been victimized by these 9 guys that she had 9 babies by. You know, it's almost as if they raped her. You know, she's been victimized by these 9 guys she had these 9 babies by. So you know what? She needs a house. She needs food. She needs money for these children. But a man, if he got 10 babies and he ain't paying for them, guess what? He's not a victim. He's a criminal. So he needs to be incarcerated. It makes no damn sense. And people don't talk about it. I mean, you hear some people talk about it, but you don't hear people talk about it enough. Okay? And the government, like I said, I will say again, the government encourages it. They encourage it. They encourage it. Because these women continue to have these damn babies. They continue to have these babies when they know they ass can't take care of them. They know they ass can't take care of them. They know they can't. They couldn't take care of them when they had 2. They couldn't take care of them when they had 3. They couldn't take care of them when they had 4. So what did they do? Have 5, have 6, have 7, have 8, have 9, have 10. And what do they do? What do they do? You see them all over Facebook. You see them all over Instagram, YouTube, everything else, talking about how they need help taking care of their damn babies, which they chose to have now. Mind you, they chose to have them. Okay? And people quick to say, oh, you know, it takes 2. It sure do. It does take 2. But guess what? Once she was up to 2 and 3, and there was no man sticking around, it was her choice to have more. Because she could have not had them.
Open your mind.
The profit of starting. The profit of starting.
Open your mind.